Many snowmobilers don't realize that backcountry freeriding and mountain riding are actually among the largest segments in this industry. But recently there's been a development of a different subgenre of that type of riding that's really taken the industry by storm. That subgenre is female backcountry freeriders and mountain riders. Luckily for us, some of the most influential female backcountry and mountain riders have gathered together all in one place this season to put on a charity event for a friend of theirs who'd fallen ill. The organizer of the event, NADINE OVERWATER, is a name you might recognize from 509 films, where she's featured doing huge jumps and drops in the backcountry. The event took place at a familiar location for anybody who watches Snowtrax TV regularly, Kuster Mountain Park, or CKMP, in British Columbia, Canada. We caught up with Nadine and all of her friends over the past week and got their thoughts on what it means to be a female backcountry rider and why it's so important that they become more independent and get out there more in the public eye.
Stigmas involved with women in the sport of snowmobiling is the men always kind of find it a little bit easier just to get it done for them instead of taking the time to maybe show them how or letting them try and battle through certain things on their own. It's really great just getting out with the girls and kind of realizing that you're totally capable. You have all the skills you need to be able to be out here.
Among the big-name female riders who attended the event are Ashley CHAFFIN, Megan Render, Kelsey Stefanik, SHELLEY Ferguson, and Stephanie Schwartz, all of whom are very accomplished backcountry riders and mountain riders.
So yesterday at the clinics, there was tons of different kind of girls, snowboarders, skiers, sledders in general. It shows that snowmobiling is not just for snowmobilers. These skiers, snowboarders need sleds to access where they want to go on the mountains. It's getting a lot more popular as far as skiers, snowboarders, because now you don't need a heli to get up there,
So the riding camp this weekend, the charity camp, it was originally designed because I had a bunch of local friends that are always asking me to take them out and do this, and I'm really limited for time, so I never am able to, and I don't want to take their money. So I thought, well, every year I'll just do a thing in December before the season really gets up and going where all these girls can take advantage of it. We can give a little bit of coaching. We have awesome coaches available to us, and all the money can go towards the charity.
The whole event centered around a ride that took place out of Revelstoke, BC. And it wasn't meant to be anything official. It was supposed to be a more casual ride with a group of friends, a group of women who all just wanted to grow in their skills and share in some experiences.
So my camps are La Nina sled camps. We're based out of Revelstoke. I think it's really important for girls, especially girls that are sort of just starting to delve into the backcountry on their own, to come and get in on these camps, because realistically, we walk you through every part of our day. So come out, gain the confidence. It's key.
The whole thing ended up at Big Eddie's Pub in Revelstoke with a silent auction and a dinner.
My goal this weekend was to raise money for a friend that has cancer. She's young, she's 29 years old, and she just got dealt a bad hand of cards. I pulled a few people together in the industry, and we happen to have all these key female riders here at CKMP at the exact same time, so it worked out really well. Multiple girls involved with making it happen, all donated their time. A bunch of product got donated, and we also raffled off a dream ride with the 509 athletes for the weekend. So we brought in a whole bunch of money, over $16,000 we raised for her this weekend, and it's all because everyone gave up their weekend to help make it happen. We got a bunch of returning girls every year. They kind of come back. It's just the way everyone gets together at the beginning of the year, and it's that camaraderie, and not necessarily like we have to learn a whole bunch, but let's just get out and ride and then go have some beers after. And it turned out it was really fun too, so I think everyone had a pretty good time.
After the previous day's charity event, the group of female instructors stuck around so that we could go for a ride with them out of CKMP in Sicamous BC and get an idea of their thoughts on females riding, females being more independent riding, and what it means to be a female rider in the backcountry. CKMP is the perfect place for an event like this to take place for a number of reasons. First of all, its location is perfect. BC is known to have great snow, but Sicamous in particular is known to have great snow at lower elevations and very early in the year. Of course, anytime you ride out of CKMP, you're going to be riding skidoos. And luckily for us, they had a whole fleet of brand new 850 G4 165s ready to go. As we got loaded up, I looked around and I realized that I was in the company of some pretty impressive backcountry riders. It didn't matter whether they were female or male. These riders had accomplished some pretty incredible things in the backcountry over the past decade. The second reason why CKMP was the perfect location for this event is because Shelly Ferguson, one of the instructors, is actually Carl Kuster's better half. And let me tell you, she is one impressive backcountry rider. Maybe even more than Carl sometimes.
In the last 2 years, I've definitely become a lot more involved and a lot more bigger demand for women snowmobile guides, and having women just want to have another woman there. They feel a little bit more confident, and not only that, I think it's with men as well. When they have a girl that's a pretty good snowmobiler next to them, they actually start to go, what are your techniques? And actually listen, because they're like, well, if she can do that, I should be able to do that. So they're starting to really take advantage of us girls and learn things.
It seems like every time I ride at CKMP, I ride in different conditions. This year, you had to go up really high to get to the really deep, great snow, and we didn't have a single bluebird day while we were riding. Each day was a little bit overcast and snowing quite hard up in the backcountry alpine. Riding in flat, light, snowy conditions is difficult at best, but what impressed me is that it didn't slow these girls down one bit. They attacked that mountain every bit as hard as they would have if the sun was shining and the sky was blue. It certainly made me feel a little bit inferior when it came time to pull myself out of the snowbanks I kept getting stuck in.
You can always pick up techniques from people. And girls, I think, can finesse the techniques a little bit. You know, we have to get down to the nitty-gritty details sometimes, and we don't have the weight. You know, I'm 120 pounds, and there's girls that are honestly way smaller than I am. So having these clinics with us, we actually have to get down and show them techniques.
Megan Render is the newest girl to this group, but that definitely doesn't mean she's not accomplished. She's known for climbing big chutes and is to this day the only woman ever to climb the infamous 90 out of Revelstoke.
So some of the stigmas that I've encountered, especially when I started out on that nitro, was that I wasn't strong enough, that I had no place on that sled. Unfortunately, a lot of negativity, but I think guys can be just intimidated by some girls who are out there pushing their limits. You know, it's sad that there's a lot of negative stigma. There is, in the last couple of years, a lot more positivity, like these camps that are coming out, and there's a lot more girls actually grouping together and coming together and riding together as groups.
Stephanie Leroy Schwartz is known as the godmother of female backcountry snowmobiling, and that's because she's been around doing this longer than almost anybody else. She's a great personality and an even better teacher. She does camps all over the world, and she's also a clothing designer who specifies in building backcountry clothing for women.
The biggest stigma I see with women that come to my camps, their significant other has said, just throttle it out, throttle it out, throttle it out, and give it more gas, or they have done everything for her. And it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. They want to help her out, but teach her. A lot of them have no clue about the dynamics of a sled, let alone the unloading, the loading, all that stuff happens at the camp.
I know, I was just going to say, did you try moving the clutch?
Yeah, and it was moving. Like, I can't do anything else except hope it doesn't explode.
Yeah.
Kelsey Stefanik is actually a snowboard convert who used to use her snowmobile to get her to places to ride her snowboard. She's also been a guide out of Glacier House at a BC and knows this backcountry area like the back of her hand.
Say you're following one of your friends and you don't trust their decision making.
Yeah.
You kind of have to.
Yeah.
If you're doing kind of a follow the leader.
When you're following women, to know that you can trust.
I don't think you can't really generalize and
Yeah.
like women and men. I think it's just on a personal basis whether you trust your friends. And that's...
One of the things I noticed about riding with accomplished female riders versus riding with men of any kind is the atmosphere of riding with women is just generally more positive. There's no ego. They don't care who's there. They don't care how good or bad a rider you are. They just want to go out and have a good time. They're very complimentary. They're very encouraging. And even me, the only guy on the snow with them that day, they treated me like one of the girls. All right, well, it's been a great day. I've been having a great time with you guys, and I've learned a ton of stuff just watching you do what you do. I honestly think, from my perspective, the more it makes sense to ride, even as a big guy, more the way women are riding, using less weight. Because it seems to me if I'm big and I'm using less effort or learning to ride in that way, it's going to be easier for me even. So, you know, that's kind of an interesting thought too, that maybe the way women are riding is something that a lot of dudes could benefit from too.
Yeah. It takes a little more thought But that's the difference with us girls. We think up here.
Thanks for bringing us out here. It's been a lot of fun, and some more stuff and ride some more. Thanks for roosting me big time.
No problem.
Sometimes events like these can seem out of reach for the average person, but the benefit of going to an event like this or going to a riding camp is so great that it's worth figuring out how to make it happen. And CKMP is actually working hard to make that easier for the average person. They're currently running a contest where 2 people can win an all expenses paid trip to CKMP for a ladies only instruction ride with SHELLEY Ferguson and Ashley CHAFFIN at the end of March. So check out their website to find out more details about that.
If you enjoyed the video that you just watched, like it and then subscribe to our page for more great content from Snow Tracks TV.